Something I did want to touch on here briefly with both of you is the TikTok ban that just passed the House. Your thoughts on it, starting with Vivek?
Yeah. So look, my thought is TikTok has major issues. There's at least three categories of major issues. Number one is persuasion threats to the United States of America, the Chinese government or Chinese affiliated entities determining what U.S. users do or don't see. Number two is forced data transfers to the Chinese Communist Party from a U.S. tech company. And number three is addictive tendencies in kids under the age of 15. Major problems. However, I think this bill fails across the board to address those issues. It's incomplete in addressing those issues while also creating a civil libertarian nightmare, giving to the Biden administration exclusive executive authority effectively to decide which kinds of so-called foreign adversary controlled apps or even websites are going to be shut down or not, or are going to be owned by whom. And so if you're concerned with the Biden administration engaging in backdoor censorship using tech companies to do it, I think it's a bad idea to give that Biden administration even broader executive latitude to do the same thing. If you want to address the issue, as I do favor doing, address the issue across the board. Social media in kids under the age of 16, it's an issue. Address it. Force data transfers to the CCP. I don't like it if Google's doing it. I don't like it if Airbnb is doing it. I don't like it if TikTok is doing it. Deal with it across the board rather than in a company-specific manner. And the specific manner in which this bill is written does two things. One is it's designed to exclude the very companies that have been lobbying for it. This is a Facebook lobbying bill. That's a dirty little secret in Washington, D.C. It's designed to exclude U.S. companies from being burdened. I'd say include all companies, U.S. or not, from stopping data transfers to the CCP. Look at Airbnb and what they've been doing for years. Wall Street Journal reporting a few years ago, put an end to it across the board, TikTok to Airbnb to anybody else. And the other thing is don't give this much unfettered executive authority to a president, including currently, that would be President Biden, to even broaden the scope of using tech companies, be they Google, be they TikTok, be they Facebook, be they YouTube, to do through the back door what the government couldn't do through the front door. So that's my view, is a wrong bill to at least accomplish a worthy goal, accomplish it in the right way, ban the behavior rather than playing whack-a-mole one company at a time.
I'm sure, Senator, you tend to agree. Your thoughts?
Yeah, look, Vivek and I rarely disagree, and we do not appear to disagree at all here. One of the many things that he touched on that it always needs to be mentioned is what relates to the separation of the powers between the three branches of government. When we find Congress constantly legislating by granting authority to somebody else to act, to in fact create a law, in effect, authorizing the president to exercise sweeping authorities that could affect not only this one company, but many others, that should always be a risk. Now, Vivek also correctly points out there are some issues with TikTok, issues that I think we need to get to the bottom of. This legislation, the one that just passed the House, passed, I believe, without a single legislative hearing. We certainly haven't had any kind of full legislative airing of this legislation on the Senate side. And that's not the kind of thing you want to be messing around with, especially when you're pitching something as an approach to ban a particular business enterprise. That's dangerous. Now, I'm going to listen to the arguments, and I expect to get some classified briefings on this. But when you push something this quickly, you got to make sure that you know what you're pushing.